I call Andrew Williams.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I'm pleased to take a call on behalf of New Zealand First in the Kaikoura Te Tai o Marokura Marine Management Bill. And Mr Speaker, having sat on the Local Government and Environment Select Committee for this legislation, can I just say that this is one of the more pleasing pieces of legislation that we've had to sit on in the last 3 years, in that across all parties there was a real commitment to ensure that this progressed, and it progressed positively for the best outcome of the marine environment in that special place, Kaikoura, and down the coast of the Kaikoura area. Mr Speaker, we visited as a select committee to Kaikoura to hear submissions, and we were all incredibly impressed with what the community had done there across whole areas of the community over 7 years. Te Korowai, the marine group, putting it together, 7 years of consultation. And I was impressed to see submissions there from the local cray fishermen, from the power divers, who were directly affected by all this, of course, with their livelihoods and their income, and they were on board with it as well, to say this at the end of the day will improve the whole marine environment down the coast there for the mutual benefit of everyone. The tourism aspect is immense in Kaikoura now, with the whale watching and the New Zealand fur seals, and people wanting to just go there and see the marvels of nature and what is so abundant there. And with that significant canyon, underwater canyon, out off the Kaikoura coast, and knowing that it is so abundant with fish life and all sorts of marine life, and what it offers, and it is the breeding ground for the whales, and that the whales stay there because of the abundance of plankton and the abundance of food for the whales, that incredibly deep canyon provides such a marvellous area for New Zealand to cherish. And we were somewhat a little disappointed that, of course, there were comments about the extent of the boundaries of that canyon and whether they went far enough. However, New Zealand First certainly is of the belief that they are sufficient. They do represent a very, very significant area of ocean out off the coast, and by having that, it certainly will provide the basis of ensuring that the whales there are given an incredibly important area of water and other marine life in the area. Similarly, we went as a select committee to the breeding ground, or not so much the breeding ground, but the creches they call it, for the fur seal pups. And it was marvellous to go up the inlet and up the river stream, and about a 5-minute walk off the main highway there, and to see 40 or 50, maybe more, pups all frolicking in the pool, several pools there. And apparently what the pups do is they leave the mothers, they leave the parents, they go up the stream during the day while the parents are off getting food and all that sort of thing. And the young pups were all playing around and jumping around and having a great time. And it was just marvellous to see. And again, to see, and that is all included in the sanctuary. It's amazing. So the whole area is protected under the New Zealand fur seal colony there as well. And again, that is just such a marvellous thing that New Zealand can cherish. Can I also pay homage to local iwi Ngāi Tahu and local iwi and Hapu, who similarly, under the leadership of Sir Mark Solomon and many other leaders in the Maori community there, who put so much effort into this legislation. Again, it was very heartening to see how much they were involved in it, and how there was so much buy-in from them, working in with the cray fishermen, working in with the power divers, working in with the tourist operators, working in with all sorts of other interests there. And especially can I pay tribute to the dock people in Kaikoura, who took us and showed us the various areas of the sanctuaries and the marine colonies and that. And what a marvellous job DOC is doing in that area, and also the fisheries inspectors in the area. They were just tremendous people. They were great hosts that day, and they really were dedicated to what they were doing in the area. And they were locals. You know, they're working with the locals. They are locals. They're part of the local community, but very much providing that government input, that legislative, regulatory input into ensuring that it all works well for everyone. And so I was very, very pleased that the collaboration. And I think this would probably, as we've heard from other speakers, this would probably be the most significant collaboration across the community in terms of developing marine reserve and a whale sanctuary and other such things, customary fishing areas, and an advisory committee to oversee it. This would be the most comprehensive probably ever in New Zealand, so it was very, very heartening to see. So New Zealand First absolutely did support those initiatives, and we were very pleased that the Select Committee was very collaborative in being able to work through it. I still do feel, however, there was one area where we questioned about those coordinates under the GPS, and I think that's still, officials are still looking into that matter, because there is no real reason why they could not go to 3 decimal places to ensure that. What's that? To ensure that there are no anomalies or errors, or that certain rock areas or whatever just fall outside of the area because simply we didn't go to a third digit. And I would hope that common sense, and as we all know, New Zealand First's policies are common sense. It's just common sense, and it is common sense. And this is another. And as you'll see on the billboards around New Zealand in coming weeks, it is common sense that we apply common sense, and in this case it would be common sense just to simply add 1 more decimal place and make sure that these particular boundaries and these particular designated areas are not 20, 30, 50 metres away from where they are supposed to be protecting. Mr. Speaker, in saying all this, we are increasingly aware of the fact that we are the guardians. The humans are the guardians of our planet, are guardians of our oceans, are guardians of our land. And in this case, it is most important that we do all we can to ensure that what we are guardians of is taken care of. And the marine reserves around New Zealand are increasing, and from the very first one at Goat Island up on the Lee coast, which is now a marvellous area up north of Auckland, to inner urban ones such as at Long Bay on the North Shore, which again has been marvellous in the Long Bay area, and many others around the coast. And I visited the one in Kaikoura, which was established just in the last year and extended in the last year. Again, very, very significant. But, Mr. Speaker, it is important that at the same time we don't neglect other issues that are outside of even the marine reserves, and such has been raised in this House today with the Maui's dolphins. And I'm very, very disheartened by the snail pace progress that has been made to protect the wonderful little Maui's dolphins. And when you look at them, when you look at these beautiful little creatures, and there's only 55 left of them in the world, and they're all in New Zealand, and they're mainly off the west coast of the North Island, running down from the Manukau Harbour down to Taranaki, and indeed perhaps some even down as far as Wanganui. It is the onus is on us to ensure that when we're looking at marine reserves and what we're doing here, the onus is also look at the wider impact on our oceans and ensure that little creatures like this, beautiful little creatures like this, if there's only 55 of them left, we've got to do something to protect them. So New Zealand First, similarly, we'll be working our darndest, and post-election, if we're in any position to influence the government of the day, we will ensure that a much faster pace is taken in terms of protecting the Maui's dolphins, and indeed extending to the Hector's dolphins too, who are under threat, but not the same level of threat, and ensuring that New Zealand does play its part internationally in terms of protecting our marine species and our marine life. The last dolphins that went into extinction happened in China, in the Yangtze River. The round-nosed dolphin, I think it was called, in China. It would be devastating for New Zealand's image if the next species of dolphin that was to become extinct was in New Zealand after China. That would be a terrible message. We cannot allow that. And surveys have shown, and today I was very pleased to meet with Professor Elizabeth Slurton and Gemma McGrath, and indeed in the past Christine Rose, are doing a marvellous job on the Maui's dolphins and working to protect them. And to hear that overwhelmingly 80-something% of New Zealanders say we have to do something about this, and we have to do something about it very soon. So, Mr. Speaker, New Zealand First commends this bill to the House.
I call Reno Tirakatini.